Hey, welcome to Models and Agents, episode 17. It's March 17th, 2026, your daily briefing on the AI models and agents that are changing everything. And no, not those kinds of models and agents. Let's get into it. Picsart launches AI Agent Marketplace, starting with 4 agents and adding more weekly for creators. All right, friends, if you're feeling that familiar overwhelm from the fire hose of AI news, today's episode is here to help. The big headline is Picsart rolling out this new AI agent marketplace, which is basically letting creators hire specialized AI helpers right inside their platform, starting with 4 agents and promising more every week. This could really open up agentic tools for design and creative workflows, making them way more accessible. On top of that, we've got a fresh batch of RxIV papers diving into multi-agent systems, covering everything from safety checks in large language models to agents tackling climate analysis and even negotiation benchmarks. It's all pointing toward more coordinated, robust agent ecosystems. Stick around because we're breaking this down with specifics on what these mean for your projects, plus some hands-on things to try that could level up your work this week. Let's dive into the top story, Picsart's launch of their AI agent marketplace. If you're not familiar, Picsart is a popular creative platform for image editing and design, and now they're letting users essentially hire AI assistants tailored for those tasks. They kicked off with 4 agents, and the plan is to add more each week, focusing on things like automating image edits or streamlining design processes. What I love here is how it builds on existing agent frameworks like LangChain or Crew AI, but it's zeroing in on the creative side. Instead of wrestling with custom setups for general-purpose agents, you get these user-friendly, domain-specific helpers that integrate seamlessly into Picsart's ecosystem. Compare that to something like LangChain, which is great for chaining together language models for complex tasks, but often requires you to code your own pipelines, or Crew AI, which lets you assemble teams of AI agents for collaborative work. Solid for developers, but it can feel a bit heavy if you're not technical. Picsart's marketplace lowers that barrier, especially for non-coders and visual arts, by offering plug-and-play agents that handle real-time creative tasks without you needing to build from scratch. For instance, imagine an agent that automates background removal or suggests design layouts on the fly. It's all about quick prototyping. Developers and designers should definitely pay attention because this enables faster agent-assisted workflows in areas like graphic design or content creation. It's not just hype. It could democratize access to these tools, making them as easy to use as picking a filter in an app. The practical takeaway? Head over to Picsart and explore the marketplace. Try hiring one of those initial 4 agents for a simple task like editing an image or automating a design element. See how it performs in real time, and keep an eye out for those weekly additions, which might bring in more advanced stuff like multimodal interactions, blending text, images, and maybe even video. Just when you thought creative tools couldn't get smarter, this drops and reminds us how agents are infiltrating everyday apps. Exciting stuff, and it feels like a real step toward making AI assistants a staple in creative work. Shifting gears to model updates, we've got some intriguing papers from RxIV that are pushing the boundaries of multi-agent systems built on large language models, or LLMs. First up is this one on auditing cascading risks in multi-agent systems using semantic geometric coevolution. It introduces a framework that detects potential instabilities early by monitoring graph dynamics with something called Olivier-Ricci curvature. Think of it as a mathematical way to measure how information flows and curves in a network of agents. This is proactive and interpretable, unlike traditional semantic auditing that might only catch issues after they snowball. If you've been building with frameworks like Microsoft AutoGen, which orchestrates multiple agents for tasks, this could enhance safety in high-stakes setups where one agent's misalignment might cascade and amplify problems over time. It's a big deal for AI practitioners aiming for reliable networks. Definitely worth a read if you're in safety-critical agent work. Next, there's Beyond Self-Interest, which presents the Autonomous Social Value-Oriented Agents Framework, or ASVO. It integrates LLMs with social value orientation theory to model not just self-interested behaviors, but also adaptive altruism and desire-driven interactions. So, unlike purely selfish agents in something like AutoGPT, which focuses on autonomous task completion, this adds layers of social motivation for more human-like simulations. Think workplaces, families, or any group dynamic. It helps developers create systems that feel more natural, though you'll need to tune it carefully for environments that change a lot. If you're into simulating social scenarios with agents, this could be a game changer. adding that extra realism without overcomplicating things. And rounding out the model news is SAGE, a multi-agent self-evolution framework for LLM reasoning. It's a closed-loop system where 4 agents evolve from a shared LLM backbone tested on Qwen 2.5 to 7b and use verifiable rewards to boost performance on benchmarks like Live Code Bench. It advances self-play methods by baking in explicit planning and quality control, leading to gains in math and code tasks over baselines. For fine-tuning enthusiasts, this is exciting because it shows how agents can self-improve without endless manual tweaks, though it does rely on external verifiers for stability. Overall, these updates fit into a bigger trend of making multi-agent systems safer, more social, and self-optimizing, perfect if you're experimenting with LLMs in coordinated setups. Now, for agent and tool developments, the ArcsIV wave continues with some practical gems. Starting with climate agents, a multi-agent system designed as a research assistant for analyzing social climate dynamics. It integrates multimodal data like text, images, and stats across agents for reasoning and modeling without needing massive training datasets. This is a notch above traditional predictive tools because it's adaptive and exploratory, pulling from sources like UN data for scenario analysis. If you're in environmental AI, this could be huge for projects involving socio-environmental trends. It's accessible too. Check the RxIV for code if it's shared, and try implementing it today for something like climate impact simulations. Then there's RED-Ref, a training-free controller for multi-agent LLM systems that uses belief-guided delegation and reflection to coordinate tasks probabilistically. It cuts token usage by up to 28% in things like split knowledge challenges, improving on naive routing in frameworks like LangGraph by adding efficiency without any training overhead. Developers, experiment with this for boosting robustness in agent teams. It's lightweight and could save costs in collaborative setups. We also have an agentic workflow for generating synthetic tweet datasets in crisis informatics. It uses multi-agent iteration to create labeled data for tasks like damage assessment, addressing the data scarcity since Twitter's API changes. This is scalable and a solid alternative to curating real data. Test it out if you're in social media analysis for custom dataset generation. Finally, Intelligent Co-Design is a multi-agent LLM framework for interactive 3D interior design. It turns natural language and images into layouts via specialized agents for reference, spatial planning, and grading, outperforming traditional tools in user satisfaction. It's great for non-designers, and you can try the GitHub repo for prototyping room designs with prompts. These tools show agents getting more specialized and user-friendly. I'm genuinely pumped about how they're tackling real-world problems like climate analysis or design without the usual barriers. In the practical and community corner, we've got more RxIV highlights that are super actionable for developers. First, a benchmark for multi-party negotiation games, pulled from real data like the Harvard Negotiation Challenge. It generates configurable games to test value function approximations in long horizon planning, filling gaps and evaluating decentralized agents with binding commitments. If you're into multi-agent reinforcement learning, or RL, grab this to benchmark your models on negotiation tasks. It's a straightforward way to stress test coordination. EcoFair CH-Marl is another standout, a scalable framework for constrained hierarchical multi-agent RL in maritime logistics, handling up to 50 agents with real-time emission budgets and fairness guarantees. It cuts emissions by up to 15% in simulations, making it practical for safety-critical domains, though you'll need a digital twin setup for testing. Explore it if you're optimizing fleet coordination under constraints. Could inspire real-world adaptations with open datasets. And MedPriv Bench evaluates the privacy utility trade-off in LLMs for medical open-ended question answering. It uses a multi-agent pipeline to synthesize sensitive contexts, revealing how retrieval augmented generation or RAG systems perform under regs like HIPAA. Developers use this to test safety in healthcare apps. It's focused on open-ended queries but highlights real trade-offs for compliant tools. These community contributions are gold. They solve pain points like data scarcity or privacy in agents, and they're often open for you to build on right away. It's amusing how fast these benchmarks pop up. Just when you think you've got a handle on testing, something new drops to make it easier. All right, for things to try this week, let's get you some hands-on recommendations. If you haven't dipped into Picsart's AI agent marketplace yet, this is the time. Hire one of those assistants for creative tasks like image editing, It's a low barrier entry to agentic workflows without custom builds. Implement climate agents for social climate data analysis. Perfect if you're in environmental AI, as it blends agents for multimodal reasoning without heavy training. Experiment with the intelligent co-design framework on GitHub for 3D room planning. Great for testing multimodal agents in spatial design if interactive LLMs are your jam. Use MedPriv Bench to assess privacy in your medical LLM setups. It spotlights those utility trade-offs for building compliant healthcare tools. And test ReadyRef for multi-agent coordination. It reduces costs in LLM systems, so if you're using something like AutoGen for collaborative tasks, give it a spin to see the efficiency gains. These are all doable today and could spark some breakthroughs in your projects. Looking ahead on the horizon, expect weekly additions to Picsart's agent marketplace, possibly branching into more creative domains like video or multimedia. We might see further evaluations of frameworks like Sage on bigger LLM scales, which could pave the way for open-source self-evolving agents. Community adaptations of benchmarks like MedPriv Bench could extend to other privacy-sensitive fields beyond medicine, and keep watch for integrations of tools like EcoFair CHMARL into real-world logistics simulations, maybe with new open datasets. It's all building anticipation for more practical agent deployments. Before we go, tomorrow, keep an eye on potential open-source releases inspired by these multi-agent frameworks, like expanded benchmarks for negotiation in decentralized systems. That wraps up today's AI briefing. Share this with a developer or builder who wants to stay current. Subscribe wherever you listen. See you tomorrow. This podcast is curated by Patrick, but generated using AI voice synthesis of my voice using ElevenLabs. The primary reason to do this is I unfortunately don't have the time to be consistent with generating all the content and wanted to focus on creating consistent and regular episodes for all the themes that I enjoy, and I hope others do as well.